education itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from
touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Hello, Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. Also, thanks to those of you tuned in on the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channels if you have not done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed. You know how people become mysteriously unsubscribed. If you have any problems or grievances to file, this isn't the HR department. If you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you can always exit stage left. Okay, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. All right, hello, Mr. Hotel. Okay, Venus in the house, Shabaka, Pearly. All right, Anita. A shout out to C Stan for your super chat early this morning. Thank you, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings to you too. Okay, Nisi is in the house. Mr. Elevation, Miss Peaches. All right, Dark Titan, Sharon, Wavy though. All hell no's in the house. Claudette. Okay, Lana L, Tia, Renz G is here. Sandra. Okay, King Leo, Tia, Aboriginal Woman, Kathy B, G from the land, Laylo. Okay, let's get into it. Ethelene, I see you, beloved Kenyatta. Okay, so shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. Now, I hope everyone, hey, shout out to Sean from the Shy. Okay, T Cope 67 in the house. Hey, beloved. Queen Sam, Stephen Wood, Miss Cookie. Okay, so that all been said, listen, I hope you all had a wonderful and blessed, strong end, not the weekend, keeping you in a weakened state of mind. But there is a whole lot of nefariousness going on. And the main thing that I want to talk about, but I'm going to save that for just a second. I want to talk about this new movie that came out July the 4th weekend called Sound of Freedom. It's about sex trafficking of children. Okay, now seems to me that a whole lot of people got their panties in a bunch and are quite frankly upset about this movie. We're going to talk about that in a second. But before we do, let's talk about this shooting in Cleveland. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. You know what? Never mind that. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about Jamie Foxx, because this is the least important news as far as I'm concerned. So let's go ahead and just get this out the way. I know y'all want to hear it because y'all love mess. So anyway, Jamie Foxx has been spotted with Becky all over town, they say. Okay, on a yacht, jet skiing, and all of the above. So let's get into it. Jamie Foxx gets hot and heavy with mystery woman on a boat in the Canes. Let me tell y'all something. A lot of you all, I'm not going to call any names. Okay. Hey, don't need a man. Stop telling me I do. Fonzie's in the house. D Griffin. A lot of you, or not a lot of you, some of you, you go all in when there is a black celebrity, a male black celebrity dating, someone who's not of their race. Y'all be going in on them. Or if there's a person who loses their life at the hands of someone who's not of their race that they were dating, and any of those things. Y'all go all in. I just wonder why y'all don't have anything to say about Jamie Foxx. Do y'all know and realize that we've never, I'm sorry, someone correct me if I'm lying, we've never seen Jamie Foxx in the past 15 years that I can recall. We've never seen him with a black woman. Now, I'm not saying he has to date black women or even like them, but I'm just saying I find it interesting that you all don't say anything about that. But you have so much to say about other people like Christian Abumsale. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, one can say negative things about black women, but when they are blatantly dating only Caucasian women, I don't think they have to say anything about black women. I think their actions speak louder than their words. Please pay attention. All right. Thank you, Fonzie. James, for your beloved comments. So let's get into it, because I'm going to show you all the pictures. Because I find it all very interesting. Now, they say Jamie was on this yacht. Hold on. Let me pull up my receipts. Likes, everyone, please like and share. They said Jamie was spotted on a yacht, according to TMZ, and he was waving at people. Now, the funny thing is he didn't say anything. And I saw some people in the comments saying, oh, well, he doesn't have to be, he doesn't have to say anything. Well, no, he doesn't. But you all don't find it just a tad bit strange that the football player that passed out on the field, well, we didn't see anything for him for days. And then when we did, he wasn't saying anything either. Y'all remember that? I just find it all interesting. I'm not saying there's anything to it. I'm just saying that I find it all very interesting. But let me just get into it, because they say Jamie Foxx waves at fans His road to recovery seems to be going very well. Well, that's good news to hear. Okay, despite the things that have been leaked, they say because the guy's out and about in public now, with TMZ getting their first glimpse of him since his hospitalization. Now they say check out the footage we've obtained showing a cheerful JF cruising along on a mega boat on the Chicago River Sunday afternoon, looking pretty vibrant and happy to see fans as well. A neighboring vessel passed him and gave him a big hurrah. Jamie waved back. Now, he appeared to be accompanied by a few others on board as well, and at first glance, it seems there were some members of his family around. They've been at his side throughout this entire ordeal, and we know they've been visiting him in the rehab in Chi-Town. Now, funny thing is, they visited him at rehab in Chi-Town, but they also said that he was playing pickleball weeks before that. But let me continue. The difference here, they say, we're finally getting a clear view of Jamie in the flesh, which is encouraging. Frankly, there's been a lot of speculation about his condition, and the longer he went out of the public eye, the greater the conjecture would grow. Folks have been worried. Now, hopefully, all those rumors can be put to rest because the guy seems to be well on his way to achieving full health again. Still no word on what exactly happened to him when he that sent him to the ER in the first place. But the point is he's back. Okay, he's primed for a comeback. Here's another positive update that TMZ can provide also. They said we've seen more footage of Jamie spending a night out on the town in Chicago's area Saturday, getting active on his feet, no less, and looking to be in great spirits too. Anyway, that's all good news. That's all good news. So I just wonder, because I have questions. Because remember when it was reported that he was spotted in the Canaans with this Becky, mysterious woman. Well, I just wonder if she was checking on him and sticking by him, along with the rest of the Beckys that he's been dating, including Tom Cruise's ex. I just have a few questions. That's all I'm saying. But let me just pull that up because I know some of y'all don't want to see it. But nonetheless, I'll be showing it. Okay, Queen D's Becky loving black men be afraid that black women expose their little peckers. Say what? Oh my goodness, Sherry said, Queen, you look nice. Thank you, beloved. Y'all are something else. D. Griffin said he was probably out there with his nurse. Okay, well, I don't know, but I know one thing. Jamie loves white women. And like I said, that's his prerogative, but I just find it interesting that nobody says anything about it. Pay attention. Okay, so remember these photos right here? Remember that? And that. And that. And that. I mean, I could show more, but there's clearly no need to. I'm just saying, y'all just give Jamie a pass. Miss Hotel said, I'm over it at this point. Yeah, so am I. Okay, if he was at the facility in Chicago Northwestern, where he went. Hold on, this chat's moving quickly. Let me get a couple of these comments before I move on. If he was at the facility in Chicago Northwestern, what he went through is serious. So more than likely, he's in Chicago going through rehab. Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I believe he's in Chicago going through rehab. They say that, in fact, Chicago has one of the best rehab facilities in the United States. And so likely that's absolutely why he's there. I'm not saying anything about that. And I'm glad that he's getting rehab and that he's recovering and getting better, because that's always a plus. Nobody wishes anything bad or nefarious on anyone, at least you shouldn't. But I'm just saying, y'all don't say anything about those Beckys, though. That's all I'm saying. Where are the Beckys when he's having all these issues? I'm just saying, are they out there, trying to see how he's doing and all of that? Are they concerned? That's all I'm asking. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, let's move right along, because that was of little importance to me as far as I'm concerned. All right, I just know y'all like that kind of stuff. Now, here's what's important. You all's President Biden, for you Biden sexuals, I know y'all hate to hear it, but here it comes. You all's President Biden. Let me put his picture up put this overlay up here, because I'm not going to play the video. I'm just going to play the audio. Biden talks too much and doesn't know what he's saying half of the time with all these gaps. And now he's giving out military secrets. He's giving out military secrets, but please pay attention, because I find it all interesting. Biden just doesn't know how to shut up. And when he talks, he doesn't know what he should or shouldn't say, apparently. Okay, let's get into it. Likes up, everyone. Please get the likes up. Thank you in advance. Let me cue this video real quick. Embarrassing the USA again, nevertheless.
President Biden facing a backlash after appearing to let a military secret slip during a rare live TV interview.
This is a war relating to munitions and the running out of that ammunition, and we're low on it. And so what I finally did, took the recommendation of the Defense Department to not permanently, but to allow for this transition period where we get more 155 weapons, these shells for Ukrainians.
Jake Beckett is a U.S. Army veteran and former Arkansas Senate candidate, and he joins us now. Jake, good morning to you. You know, it's a two-part issue here, actually three if you think about it. But when you think about the U.S. depleting our stockpile of military ammunition and the fact that Biden just let this blurt out, this was music to our adversaries' ears hearing this. Not only that, but Americans should be concerned. And then it begs the whole question, if he's just blurting things like this out in an interview, is he competent enough to lead the nation?
Well, it's a fair question, and I have to laugh because as an Army officer, former Army officer myself, if me or one of my soldiers were to tweet or give some kind of a media interview where we revealed such crucial information to the public, we would be censured, maybe even imprisoned. But here's our commander-in-chief just blurting out this tactical and strategic information for everyone to hear. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating. It's part of the reason why I believe that the Democrats are going to replace Joe Biden at the top of the ticket in 2024. And he really is just this doddering old commander-in-chief. He's an 80-year-old man. He's definitely lost a lot of miles an hour on his fastball, but it really has dire implications for national security. I mean, here he is just telling everyone, telling the world that we are currently low on 155 ammunition, which is the largest and most important artillery munitions that we use in the modern military. And it also really begs the question, why can't the West, Western Europe and the United States, match Russian production? That seems to be a running theme over the past year to 18 months with this war in Eastern Europe. The United States, we're clearly having trouble manufacturing the munitions that are capable to not only complete the requirements for our own military, but to fund our allies as well. So, we're supposed to be depleting, the capabilities of Russia in this conflict. That's obviously not the case. As a matter of fact, it seems to be quite the opposite is what's happening here.
Well, the White House tried to walk this back. They told Fox News Digital, quote, the military has specific requirements for the numbers of weapon systems and ammunition we maintain in our reserves in case of contingencies or military conflict. Everything we send to Ukraine is in excess of that. So the U.S. is not running out of ammunition ourselves. You're the only one of the three of us who has a perspective on this. You served in the military. You understand how weapons work. You understand our stockpiles. Do you buy what the White House just said there?
No, that's just clean up on aisle three right there. I mean, that's just, we've seen this time and time again. The entire Biden administration, he blurts out or he accidentally reveals the truth. And then his handlers immediately come out to try to walk it back and say, don't believe your lying eyes, what the president just accidentally revealed to you. Here's what's actually happening. So we've seen this time and again. It's really no surprise. And again, it's why I truly believe that the Democrats, they're waiting for the right time. They don't want to supplant Biden with Kamala Harris because they know that she's a sure loser in 2024, and she's even more embarrassing in public than he is. So I think they want to wait until the right moment to supplant him with someone like Gavin Newsom, who would probably have a better chance in 2024. Or
now the media, they were propping up Gretchen Whitmer last week, so that was the new one. But now we got to switch gears to this. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, he's putting up...
All right, I think we've heard enough of the foolishness. So with that all being said, Biden, how do you let everybody in the world know that we are low on ammunition? Where they do that at? Clearly the White House. Pay attention. This fool just let everybody know that the U.S. is clearly not ready for war should one occur. This is absolutely sad, people. This is bottom of the barrel nefariousness, okay? I am so through with Biden. Now, for those of you who voted for him, how do you feel about yourselves right about now? For those of you who said that I love Trump, for those of you that called me a Trump supporter when I didn't even vote, how are y'all feeling right about now? Can you look yourselves in the mirror? I have so many questions. This is what your president, but you know what? At the end of the day, Biden could have just come out and said that foolishness to throw us off of the conversation now that he's back from Camp David about his cocaine found in the White House. You never know with him, but hold on, because there is more, honey. People are out here exposing Biden left and right, and I want y'all to pay attention because in all seriousness, the things that are coming out about Biden right now, Trump told us all of this years ago. But guess what they did when Trump was saying all this stuff? They impeached him, right? You know what they did? They voted to impeach him. That's what they did. They voted to impeach Trump for the things that he was exposing about Biden that were absolutely true, because now the beans are being spilled. Okay, the cat's out of the bag. So I'm sorry. And now they want to impeach Biden. Well, they should have done that a long time ago. And in fact, they should throw him in jail. Okay? That's what they should do. Biden just committed treason on national TV, telling military secrets. Okay, that's what he just did. He's spying on his own country. I can't believe it. But anyway, I digress. All right, so anyway, pay attention to this. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Y'all know they have me shadow banned.
This revealed something that Joe Biden, the FBI, and the Justice Department have been trying to hide for years. This allegation, if true, should lead either to the impeachment or immediate resignation of Joe Biden. Primetime was shocked when we found this out just a few hours ago, but it would back up everything that the media has been lying to you about. And if uncovered, would sink Joe Biden's presidency and candidacy immediately. We believe that Joe Biden has been blackmailed by this for years, which would explain why he acts the way he does. Ukraine has tapes of Joe Biden. Ukraine has tapes of Hunter Biden. The highly credible FBI informant says that the Burisma executive who allegedly bribed Joe Biden $5 million to fire the prosecutor has audio recordings of Joe and of Hunter. These audio recordings were kept as an insurance policy in case the Burisma executive got cornered. Here was Senator Grassley on the Senate floor moments ago revealing for the first time that Joe and Hunter Biden may have been captured on recordings with the Burisma executive in Ukraine. You ready? 17 different times. Grassley also reveals that Joe Biden may have gotten Hunter Biden hired at Burisma. And if you thought it couldn't get any more corrupt, it does. The FBI, when it finally released this document with these allegations to House Oversight, redacted out the part about the audio recording.
The 1023 produced to the House committees redacted reference that the foreign national who allegedly bribed Joe and Hunter Biden allegedly has audio recordings of his conversation with them. 17.
Why would the FBI redact that a Burisma executive has Joe Biden and Hunter Biden on tape? Well, they're either covering up for Joe Biden for political reasons or they're blackmailing Joe Biden. Senator Chuck Grassley continues to detail this explosive development. Listen.
The foreign national possesses 15 audio recordings of phone calls between him and Hunter Biden. The foreign national possesses 2 audio recordings of phone calls between him and then Vice President Joe Biden. These recordings were allegedly kept as a sort of insurance policy for the foreign national in case that he got into a tight spot.
These tapes, if they exist, should immediately make Kamala Harris the Democratic nominee for president. There is no way Joe Biden can continue his candidacy or presidency once these tapes are released. In addition, Grassley says Joe Biden was instrumental in getting Hunter the job at Burisma.
The 1023 also indicates that then Vice President Joe Biden may have been involved in Burisma employing Hunter Biden.
These revelations, if verified, prove Joe Biden's lied repeatedly to the American people and to the American press. Joe Biden has repeatedly stated that he has no idea what his son was doing in Ukraine. He had no idea what his son did for a living, and he never talked to his son about business, and that he never dealt directly with Burisma or fired the prosecutor investigating Burisma for $5 million. Remember, Donald Trump was impeached for zeroing in on the scandal. And we're now learning that Donald Trump may have been right the whole time. And that Joe Biden and the media and the FBI sat back and watched Donald Trump get impeached for fingering a guilty man, for putting his finger on the disgusting corruption that the Biden family was involved in when he was vice president. And isn't it amazing that years after these tapes were made, Ukraine is at war on Joe Biden's watch? And billions of dollars are pouring from our treasury into Ukraine unaccounted for. When Donald Trump's phone call with the Ukrainian president blew up, what did you hear from the left? Release the transcript. Well, now primetime is calling on the Biden administration, the FBI, and the Department of Justice, release the tapes. Senator.
I want you all to pay attention. This is all nefarious. This is all nefarious, beloveds, but at the end of the day, I told y'all this 3 years ago in 2020. I told you all that Joe Biden allegedly got his son Hunter that job at Burisma, and that also Hunter, though he was not qualified, supposedly, was making in excess of approximately $50,000 per month, not year. Okay? I'm pretty sure I told you all that. And I showed you the receipts to verify it. So now it's all coming out. And at the end of the day, nobody was lying on Joe or his son. Okay? Nobody was lying on them. But the funny thing is, they have gone through so much trouble. And by they, I mean the FBI and the DOJ. They've gone through so much trouble, you know, to pretty much cover up his BS. Just find it all interesting. Don't you all? I find it all very interesting. Eileen said, Queen, yes, you did. Thank you, beloved. Timber Dan says, how is it possible that the U.S. military is weak when Congress spends billions and billions on defense every year, yet they have no money for reparations, etc.? Absolutely, Dan. Thank you for your insight, your question, and your contribution to the channel, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings to you. I can't show your comments. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it to show it on the screen because YouTube is clearly tripping. Okay, here we go. Now, with that all being said, that's a very good question. How is this possible? When they had all of the billions to send over to Ukraine for them to have military weapons and all of that for the war that they claim they're having over there, which is all just a bunch of BS. But at the end of the day, we're low on ammunition. Please make that make sense, okay? This is all so crazy. This is all so crazy. But, you know, like I said, this is what the Democrats do. And all of you who continue to think that we absolutely have to vote for them, you're being nonsensical. That's what you're being, and you're being illogical because we don't have to vote for any of them. If they're not serving our purpose, if they have no agenda for us, if they're not doing anything for us, we can just vote locally, okay, for the things that actually matter. Because clearly, whoever's in office as president, who's sitting in the Oval Office, well, it really doesn't matter to us, or it shouldn't. Because nobody's doing anything for us. We can't get reparations. We can't get a hate crime bill. We can't get tangibles. We can't get the police to lose qualified immunity so they can stop taking our people out on a daily, specifically at nonviolent encounters by the citizens, right? At traffic stops that the police very often escalate themselves. We can't get any single thing. So I'm sorry when you all say, some of you say, well, you know, I had to choose between the lesser of two evils. Well, please make that make sense. What you should be doing is voting for your own interest. And if no one is in your interest, then why are you voting for them? I'm not telling you not to vote. I'm just saying you should vote wisely and not feel obligated to vote for Democrats just because that's what we've always done disproportionately for the past 50 plus years. Because I can also say for those 50 plus years, they've not done anything for us except give us pandering, okay, and a system of benign neglect. That's just it. So I don't know why y'all continue, but anyway, let me continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now let's talk about this shooting that happened in Cleveland. Okay, another shooting, unfortunately. Cleveland police are searching for a suspect after 9 people were wounded in a mass shooting. And so they say no one has died as a result of the shooting, which Cleveland Division of Police Chief Wayne Drummond said that happened at the city's warehouse district at about 2:25 a.m. when an unidentified individual shot at a group of people. Now, the suspect then fled the scene, according to officials, fled the scene that Jennifer Cia, I hope that's how you say it, the agency spokesperson described in a statement as very chaotic. Cleveland officers were already nearby as part of a routine detail in the area. But this person, whoever they were, they didn't care that the police were already there. They shot up the place anyway. Okay, victims were shot in places ranging from their knees and legs to their feet and arms. None of the victims' injuries appeared to be life-threatening. Now, Metro Health Medical Center confirmed it received 9 victims, with spokesperson Dorcia Kuntz telling CNN that as of early Sunday afternoon, 2 victims had been treated and released. 5 were in the emergency department, 1 was in the operating room, and the other had already had surgery. Now, police are following leads and will continue to work extremely hard to find the person who is responsible. At that time, investigators had no indication that anything of note had taken place before the suspect opened fire. Investigators said that they were also reviewing evidence and video and had interviewed victims. Now, police have described the suspect as a black man wearing dark clothing. Okay, the shooting is just the latest example of America's struggle with gun violence as mass shootings continue largely to go unmitigated. Now, there have been at least 365 shootings so far in 2023. That's quite frankly one for each day of the year, which we haven't even had each day of the year. Please pay attention. According to the Gun Violence Archive, which, like CNN, defines a mass shooting as one in which 4 or more people are shot, excluding the shooter. Okay, now U.S. Representative Shontel Brown, who represents Cleveland, part of the Ohio's 11th district, thanked first responders in a statement and urged Congress to do more to stem the crisis, specifically calling for universal background checks, banning assault weapons, and addressing gun trafficking, among other measures. Well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, I believe that everyone should have their guns. They should have a right to have their guns. Absolutely. We have the right to bear arms and should always have that right. Now, as for the assault weapons, well, I do think they should ban those. Why does any of us need to be walking around with assault rifles, military style guns? I just don't think it's necessary. Now, some of you will disagree, but that's fine. That's your opinion. Mine is contrary to that, because if they don't have these military grade weapons, well, then they won't be able to take out as many people so quickly. Okay. And at the end of the day, I'm just saying we should not be having people walking around like they're in Iraq. Okay. That's what we shouldn't be doing. So there's no excuse for it as far as I'm concerned. And they go on to say gun violence is devastating Northeast Ohio and Clevelanders deserve to be safe. This is what Brown said in a statement. So let's go to the footage of this report with the mayor of Cleveland speaking and basically calling on the Republicans to do something about it, saying they need some help. Pay attention.
The Lord, no one died from last night's mass shooting, but it was a tragic and sad day nonetheless, and truly shows the massive gun problem we have, not just in Cleveland, not just in Ohio, but across this nation.
So approximately about 2:25 this morning, right here in this location, we had an individual who actually started shooting at a crowd of people. That's what we have right now. It's important to note and understand we have officers assigned here. It's called the warehouse detail. We have officers assigned here at that particular time as patrons were coming out of different nightclubs. We had 2 officers actually and their cars, their marked cars, right at the corner there of West St. Clair and West 6th. Marked cars, officers in uniform. There are light bars, their lights are going. We also had an additional officer just a little bit further north, parked, I believe, just getting out the car, and also a sergeant that was also driving northbound from West St. Clair towards West Lakeside when this occurred. This particular individual started shooting towards the crowd. As you all know, struck 9 individuals. The officers immediately ran to the gunfire, ran to the victims, and rendered first aid. All the officers rendered first aid to the victims. As I stated, we had 9 total victims, 7 males and 2 females ranging from ages 23 to 38 years old. Again, I stress, we had officers assigned here. This is part of their detail. a very visible presence of officers, but yet this individual decided to use that weapon and shoot individuals, even with our officers here. So it's not a matter of police response. It's not a matter of police visibility, because we were here and we will continue to be here. What we have now for suspect, the subject is a black male that we know right now, a black male, and that's the extent of it. He may have had a grill in his mouth, a gold grill. We do have some leads, and we'll get that information out to you guys a little bit later. But I have to stress again, our officers were on scene, and they responded immediately.
It's so important that we honor the hard work and the amazing response time by police department and EMS as well, too. Every weekend, we have a large police presence right here in the Warehouse District, and our first responders did a fantastic job to provide aid to all the victims last night as well. Thirdly, I want to also highlight the importance of this fact. Last summer, the Republican-led legislature in Columbus passed Senate Bill 215. And across this state, from Cleveland to Columbus and Cincinnati, we've seen an uptick in shootings across our state. We need Republicans in Columbus to give us mayors more tools to get guns off our streets. I am sick and tired of getting these calls late at night. I'm sick and tired of hearing from our residents and victims of gun violence, and Republicans blaming us as mayors for violent crime. We need their help.
Well, it doesn't look like they're going to get it anytime soon. Doesn't look like they're going to get it anytime soon. It's just a shame. Now, they said the man was black, dressed in dark clothing, and had a grill in his mouth. Sounds gang-related, but I don't know if it is. But doesn't sound like your typical mass shooting, but please pay attention, because all this gang-affiliated shooting that's going on with these fools going out here blatantly having no regard for human life and safety, well, they're labeling all of these as mass shootings, okay? Now, they didn't used to do that. They didn't do that back in the day, even if 4 or more people were shot. But now they're labeling all of these as mass shootings. And that's because they want to take away the Second Amendment, which I absolutely disagree with. But like I said, I don't see the need for any of us to be walking around with military-grade weapons, okay? You can say what you want, but I absolutely don't think it's necessary. With that all being said, that was the mayor of Cleveland. But now let's talk about the mayor of Atlanta, because he got arrested for burglary, okay, and trespassing. Please pay attention. It is all so nefarious. So a Georgia mayor was arrested after entering a house that he claims he thought was abandoned, only to come face to face in a bizarre standoff with the homeowner, who held him at gunpoint until the police arrived. Khalid Kamal was caught creeping around the lake property on Cascade Palmetto Highway around 6:52 a.m. Saturday morning. He was caught by the unnamed homeowner, who ordered him to stay put. I don't know who this homeowner is, but I'm willing to bet it's a Karen or Ken, because they don't give the name, for one. And for two, if it was anyone who looked like me, clearly they know who the mayor is and wouldn't have held the man at gunpoint once he announced himself. Okay, this is all so nefarious. This is all so nefarious. So anyway, let me continue. So they go on to say, the mayor says to them, "Do you know who the F I am? I'm the mayor, and I'll wait for my police to get here and see what happens then." He initially yelled back at the homeowner. Well, when his police got there, they arrested him. That's what happened. So he was now. He's been the mayor of the city of Fulton since January of 2022. Later told the police that he was on private property because he was interested in purchasing the home, which he thought was abandoned. The mayor was arrested on criminal trespassing and burglary charges. He was released from the Fulton County Jail that evening after posting an $11,000 bond. I mean, I don't know why they arrested him. They clearly don't like him too much, as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, the mayor would not speak about the charges when he left the jail in handcuffs. on Saturday, but explained why he was on the property. They say when he left the jail in handcuffs. Do they mean when he was taken in handcuffs? Because I don't think he left with them. But anyway, that's clearly a typo. He says, I just wanted to see the house. I do apologize to the owners. I thought it was abandoned. South Fulton police responded to the property for reports of a trespasser, with the homeowner explaining that he had received a notification on his phone at 6:52 a.m. that someone was at the lake house. The homeowner was inside his home at the time, and he got the alert and said that he watched the person walk up his driveway toward his lake house. He then got into his truck to call the police and said that he could see someone in the lake house, but could not see what they were doing. While still on the phone with the police dispatcher, the homeowner cautiously approached the house and said, as the trespasser, later identified as the mayor from South Fulton, came outside, and he confronted him with a gun and ordered him to stay put. Well, we already know that's a Brad or a Karen, because quite frankly, what black person pulls a gun on somebody and says, stay put? You know, we don't even talk like that. But anyway, the homeowner repeated the order, and the mayor began to walk away, which prompted him to yell back, do you know who the F I am? I'm the mayor. So anyway, according to the mayor's account, he said he was just checking out the property when he was confronted by the homeowner and yelled, no MFing way. Okay, you stay right here. That's what the homeowner said. Now, the mayor stated that he tried to introduce himself to the homeowner, but said he told him, if you take another step, I'm going to shoot you. Are you going to shoot me while I'm walking away? That's what the mayor responded. So we know that this does not sound like the typical black person. I'm sorry, it could be, but it doesn't sound like typical black person to me. And like I said, they're hiding this person's identity. So quite frankly, I think it's Brad. Now, goes on to say that once the police arrived, the trespasser was identified to be the mayor, and the homeowner reportedly apologized to him. But however, he was arrested on criminal trespassing and burglary charges, released later after posting a bond. So what do y'all think about that? I find it all so interesting. They say the mayor's out of jail, but not out of trouble. Hold on. I'm going to go to the clip. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. This is all crazy. Obsidian Blaze said, come to my house. Come to my house. I don't give a F who you are. I know that's right. Well,
South Fulton Police and the staff and officers at Rice Street for their courteous and professional service throughout the day today.
Out from behind bars, but not out of trouble. We were there as the mayor of South Fulton bailed out of the Fulton County Jail as he faces burglary and trespassing charges. And that is exactly where we begin tonight. As city leaders say that city leader is in serious trouble. He's apologizing to those he serves. Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 5 News at 10. I'm Eric Perry. Now, the mayor, Khalid Camus, faces felony burglary and trespassing charges. Fox 5 Rob D'Arienzo is live outside the Fulton County Jail. All right, Rob, we got him not only leaving the jail, but we were the only cameras there that got him in handcuffs, being put in a patrol car.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Eric. Well, the mayor apologized to Fox 5's Deidre Dukes for bringing negative attention to the city of South Fulton. I want to give you a listen to that exchange in just a moment, but a little while ago, he bonded out of the Fulton County Jail. Embattled South Fulton Mayor Khalid Camus seen leaving the Fulton County Jail Saturday evening after posting an $11,000 bond. He told reporters he was thankful for how South Fulton police and jail guards treated him. Earlier in the day, he was arrested on charges that he trespassed on this property on Cascade Palmetto Highway and committed first-degree burglary, which is a felony. Fox 5 was the only one with cameras rolling while he was still in handcuffs.
Mayor, why were you on that property?
I just wanted to see the house. I do apologize to the owners. I thought it was abandoned.
Sources say that the property owner held Camus at gunpoint until cops arrived, but police have yet to confirm that. In his mugshot at the jail, he smiled big, but minutes earlier outside the South Fulton PD precinct, he told Fox 5's Deidre Dukes he's sorry.
I apologize for the negative attention this has brought to our city.
His arrest is just the latest in a string of bizarre incidents in South Fulton since he took office last year. This past April, police shut down an Easter egg hunt he organized because he didn't have a permit. In March, city council members filed a lawsuit demanding his removal from office, saying he violated the city charter. In July of last year, he sued members of council, alleging they violated the Open Records Act.
I hope that the spotlight that is on our city right now will highlight some of the inequities that have been happening.
So you're guilty of the charges?
I think that's for the voters to decide.
And Eric, as you can imagine, there's a lot of lingering questions here tonight, including about that felony burglary charge. We're not clear on what he's accused of stealing. It also isn't clear what these charges mean for his mayoral seat. Of course, this is something we're going to stay on top of in the days to come. For now, that's the latest from here. Live outside of Fulton County Jail, Rob DiRienzo, Fox 5 News.
Yes, so many questions, and I'm sure the people he serves has a lot of questions as well. Thanks so much.
Well, I don't have any questions. I didn't have any questions at all. At the end of the day, if he had been a white mayor, they wouldn't have arrested him. You can rest assured of that. And then charging him with a felony. This is all just doing the most. But hold on, because here's another report.
South Fulton mayor has gone through some drastic changes Saturday with the arrest and charging of Khalid Kamal for burglary and trespassing. But Councilwoman Natasha Williams-Brown says some things will remain the same.
It really will be business as usual when City Hall opens Monday morning. We will continue following the charter. We will continue following our ordinances and our resolutions the same way that we have been.
South Fulton has had a few cycles with controversy since Kamal took office, including allegations from city officials last year of misuse by Kamal of his city-sanctioned credit card, followed by the mayor asking the GBI to investigate the city council for corruption. Then so far this year, a lawsuit by the city council to remove Kamal from office, an Easter egg hunt approved by the mayor being shut down, and the online petition calling for part of South Fulton to break away from the city. Williams-Brown says none of it phases her.
A lot of the chatter that has been happening in the media has really not had very much to do with the city so much as it has revolved around people and personalities.
Williams-Brown tells 11 Alive she's ready and confident for the mayor pro tem position, however long that may be. She just asked the citizens of South Fulton to remain steadfast.
If I'm called upon to do any official actions as the acting mayor, that's what I will do. The city is in good hands.
First and foremost, we want to acknowledge all the victims of last night's mass shooting that happened here in the Warehouse District.
Okay, sorry about that. Now, with that all being said, this is all so crazy, including nefarious, right? At the end of the day, they locked the mayor up and charged him with a felony for accidentally going into a house. How was that burglary? Well, I could see if they said trespassing, but burglary, really? He didn't steal anything, quite frankly, so that's all crazy. But my question is, why didn't he get a real estate agent to take him to see the property, even if he thought it was abandoned? Why didn't he just call a local realtor to take him there to view the property? I don't know, but that's just crazy. Okay, so now pay attention to this, because for those of you, I'm sure it's nobody in my audience, but at least I wouldn't think so. But for those of you who feel the need to try to put blood on your face, they call it a vampire facial, please pay attention, because it's very dangerous. And I don't know why anyone would do something so foolish. That's just my assertion. But they're saying that people are now getting HIV from this. Okay, there's been several cases. Now I'm gonna put this up on the screen real quick so you all can see what this looks like for those of you who don't know. You know, I noticed that when I was looking for research of people who get these things done, I didn't see any women who looked like me, quite frankly. Didn't see any women who looked like me. And that leads me to believe that, well, quite frankly, the women who look like me likely don't need this foolishness on their face, because we have the Eve gene. That's all I'm saying. And we tend to look at least a decade younger than we actually are, unless you've been living a hard knock life, doing drugs, abusing alcohol and things like that, or maybe you had somebody who was beating the crap out of you. But other than that, melanated women usually, heavily melanated women usually tend to look pretty good. Okay? Usually tend to look pretty good. And so anyway, let's talk about it. Now I'm going to put this up on the screen. Give me just a second because I lost my overlay somehow. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Okay, here we go. Now I want you all to look at this. It's so disgusting. First of all, who wants anyone's blood on their face, even their own, right? But let alone someone else's. Pay attention. And that's it right there. That's what it looks like. So here's what they say about these vampire facials. So new HIV cases linked to shuttered New Mexico salon that offered vampire facials. Okay, New Mexico health officials say that new HIV infections have been linked to a salon that performed so-called vampire facials almost 5 years after the business closed. Now, the Albuquerque salon called VIP Spa, that's the name of it, was shut down in September of 2018 after at least 2 clients tested positive for HIV following their facials. Back in March, another former client tested positive for HIV, according to a news release from the New Mexico Department of Health. And to date, a total of 5 HIV infections have been identified among people with direct or indirect connection with services provided at the VIP Spa, according to a department spokesperson. Now, the most recent case prompted the department to reopen its prior investigation into the spa. So this is just all crazy. So they say health officials are now asking any former clients of the salon who received any type of injection-related service there to get tested for HIV. Also, hepatitis B and C, and even clients who previously tested negative should test again. Now, VIP Spa offered Botox injections and vampire facials, a procedure that involves drawing blood from elsewhere in the body, typically the arm, separating out the platelet-rich plasma, pricking facial skin with microneedles, then applying the plasma to the face. The process is meant to make the skin look fresher and lessen the appearance of wrinkles, sun damage, or acne scars. See, that's why you don't see any women like me getting this done, because at the end of the day, we don't get sun damage to our face. But let me continue. According to the health department, after the initial C-Stan says, hold on just a second. Let me get some of these comments. This is all just absolutely deplorable as far as I'm concerned. C-Stan says they have places that do blood infusion from a young person. It's supposed to reverse aging. It's sick though. Yes, absolutely. They absolutely do have this, beloved. Thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. And in fact, the person who is the owner of PayPal, at one point they were saying that he was promoting heavily, trying to get this bill passed so that they could extract blood from 12-year-olds, children as young as 12 years old, because some people are so desperate and thirsty to look young. Okay, and they'll do anything to do so. Well, some of them are going to get HIV, but let me continue. So they go on to say that according to the health department, after the initial HIV cases were confirmed in 2018, an inspection by it and other agencies identified practices that could potentially spread blood-borne infections such as HIV, hepatitis B and C to clients. More than 100 former salon clients were tested in 2018 and 19 as part of that probe. Now, the department spokesperson said that it's not clear how HIV was transmitted, but that genetic sequencing of HIV cases confirm a unique, highly related cluster of HIV infections among former VIP Spa clients without other known risk factors. The spa's owner, Mala Ramez de Ruiz, pleaded guilty in June 2022 to 5 counts, felony counts, mind you, of practicing medicine without a license. This is what the health department says. She was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison in October of 2022. Okay, so this is all crazy. In 2018, Ruiz told the news outlet that she was cooperating with investigators and had turned over her client list to the state. They say if I have to stop doing it or something that I have to, or something like that, I have to change it. I will just change it. Happily, I'll do it, she said at the time. But the department said Wednesday that the case of the HIV infection reported in March, the only self-reported HIV risk exposure was a vampire facial at the VIP Spa that they got in 2018. So anyway, this is all crazy. This is all crazy. They say to facilitate the new round of testing, the department is hosting 3 free walk-in testing events for former VIP spa clients, July the 15th and July the 18th in Albuquerque. They say it's very important that we spread the word and remind people who received any kind of injection-related services provided by the VIP spa to come in for free and conditional or confidential testing. This is what Dr. Laura Parajan, Deputy Secretary of the Health Department, said in a statement. So if some of these people got their own blood extracted and injected, so that leads me to believe that these needles that they were using, they were likely reusing them. Because if it's the person's own blood, how did they get infected? So they had to have been using the same needles for different people. That's what it sounds like to me. This is just all so sick. But why do people want this stuff on their face anyway? Oh, well, that's their business. But let's talk about the UK Cancer Trust suggests bonus hole. I want y'all to pay attention to this sickness right here. Okay? The UK Cancer Trust for vajayjays all of a sudden. So I want y'all to pay attention to the agenda for all the women out there, not just women who look like me, but for all women, I want you all to pay attention. Okay? Queen, they also said that the venom had HIV in it. Oh, yeah, I told you all that 3 years ago, beloved. Absolutely. I told you all that. And they tried to say it was false positives. That's what Dr. Fauci said. But hey, what do I know? I'm just here to give the news, beloved. So anyway, listen to this. Kathy B said, I saw that Queen bonus hole. I want y'all to pay attention. These devils are busy and they are working overtime. Now, I just told you all in last week how they don't want parents to be called parents now. They want you to be called guardians. And they don't want it to be breastfed. They want it to be chest fed. And not breast milk, but chest milk. And they don't want gender labels on clothing items in stores. They don't want gender labels on tampons and things that are specifically for women. They don't want any of that. But now it's gotten a step crazier. They don't want us to call our vajayjays vajayjays. They want to call it a bonus hole. What y'all got to say about that? Because I'd love to hear it. Birthing person says W. Barrett. Absolutely. But now talking about bonus holes, somebody make it all make sense. This is all nefarious, honey. But let me get into it. You heard it here first. Some of you did anyway. So here's the thing. Joe's Cervical Cancer Trust, a United Kingdom-based nonprofit, is offering alternative vocabulary for women's genitalia to increase what the organization is saying is exclusivity in medical language. According to the Cancer Trust official glossary of LGBTQ inclusive terms, bonus hole is an optional term for the vagina in the context of cancer treatments. According to its website, the trust offers the following definition and guidelines. They say, and I quote, an alternative word for the vajayjay is that it is important to check which words someone would prefer to use. And so they say the glossary also offers front hole as an alternative instead of vajayjay. Using the correct language when referring to someone's gender identity is a simple and effective way to demonstrate support and recognition. This is what Joe's Cervical Cancer Trust states in the glossary section of their official website. Please pay attention. If incorrect language is used without being corrected, it can cause someone to feel hurt or distressed. This may lead them to leave and to eventually seek support elsewhere. This is all beyond nefarious, but let me continue. Okay, it's hard to say this with a straight face. Now, Fox News Digital reached out to Joe's Cervical Cancer Trust for clarification on the term and on what basis the recommendation is being made. They say the information is from a webpage written for health professionals to support trans men and or non-binary patients with a cervix to attend cervical screening. Joe's Cervical Cancer Trust says to the outlet. They say the page includes a glossary of terms that they may hear from their patients and was developed with expert organizations who work with LGBTQ community. Why don't they just say bussy? Why don't they just do that? Okay, I'm saying. Now, the statement continued. Our mission at Joe's is to prevent as many cervical cancers as possible, and a big part of that is increasing uptake of cervical screening. Women are our main audience for this for this. However, some trans men or non-binary people have cervixes, and to reduce as many cervical cancers as possible, we also provide information for this group. Now, they began operation in 2000 after being founded by British businessman James Maxwell. They say the trust was named after Maxwell's wife, who passed away from cervical cancer in 1999. So they're on a mission to provide trustworthy information and support to everyone that needs us and campaign for the best in cervical cancer prevention, diagnosis, and care. Well, that's all fine if you want to prevent cervical cancer and care, but I'm sorry. Why do you need to change the name of somebody's vajayjay? Dots. This is so sick, right? Now, if you're a man, I have questions as to why you have a cervix. Say what now? I have questions. If you are a man, why do you have a cervix? I have questions. And if you're a woman, why would you have a prostate? I'm just asking questions. But let me continue. This is all nefarious. When the agenda starts being too much, pay attention. Now, meanwhile, who is doing all these name changes, says TJ? Well, the people that are pushing agendas, clearly. Okay? October Opal said, wait a second. October Opal says, I guess having your period is bonus hole extra liquid then. Honey, I don't know, but it's all sick. I'll tell you that much. But here's something else that's sick. Speaking of that, 5 members of Jehovah's Witnesses congregations have been charged with child sexual abuse in Pennsylvania. Let's get into it. So they say these Jehovah's Witnesses congregations have been charged by Pennsylvania's Attorney General as of Friday, following a years-long investigation into allegations of sexual abuse in the religious community. The children were all also members of the church and congregations, and alleged that abusers gained access to them and the trust of these victims through the organization. Okay, now the cases included the abuse of a 4-year-old child and a developmentally disabled victim. Pennsylvania Attorney General Michelle Henry announced the charges Friday against David Belosa, who's 62 years old, Errol William Hall, who's 50, Sean Sheffer, who's 45, Terry Booth, 57, and Luis Manuel Ayala Velasquez, 55, for sexually abusing minors across the state. Now, a news release from the Attorney General's office describes Belosa at 61, but the Attorney General said he's 62 in a news conference, and court documents show a birthday that would have him turning 62 this year. The details of these crimes are sad and disturbing, they say, facts which are made even more abhorrent because the defendants used their faith communities or their families, their own families, that is, to gain access to these victims. They say our office will never stop working to seek justice for those who've been victimized, and we will continue to investigate and prosecute everyone and anyone who harms the most vulnerable in our society. Sheffer adamantly denies the allegations and looks forward to the opportunity to set the record straight. Okay, yeah, we'll see how that all turns out. They say that media outlets are attempting to identify the defense attorneys of the 4 defendants. And they say CNN has reached out to the Attorney General's office and public defender's offices in Philadelphia, Delaware, Butler, Allegheny, and Northampton counties, where each defendant has been charged respectively. The 5 defendants have each been charged and bail has been set, according to the Attorney General's office and criminal records dockets. And so this is just all sick. Now, here's what they say. While the 5 cases are distinct from one another, they share a common thread. According to the Attorney General, they say the defendants and victims were all part of Jehovah's Witness congregations at the time of the alleged abuse. Belosa from Philadelphia has been charged with indecent assault, aggravated indecent assault, and corruption of minors, according to a criminal docket filed in Philadelphia County. Now, he allegedly sexually assaulted a 4-year-old girl whom he had met through the Jehovah's Witnesses community when he was in his 30s. Okay, according to the Attorney General's report. Belosa allegedly assaulted the girl in her family's basement and told her not to tell anyone what he had done. Hall was charged with indecent assault without consent, indecent assault, forcible compulsion, and corruption of minors for inappropriately touching a 16-year-old who went through the community, according to criminal dockets filed in Delaware County. Now, Shakur has been charged with rape, aggravated indecent assault, involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, indecent assault, and corruption of minors, according to the docket. He allegedly repeatedly raped his developmentally disabled younger sister. This is all so sick. Starting when she was 7 years old and he was 18. These people need to be under the prison. Okay. The grand jury heard testimony that the rapes occurred approximately 50 to 75 times and lasted until the girl was 12 years old, according to reports. Booth was charged with indecent assault and corruption of minors, and he allegedly engaged in inappropriate sexual conversations with a 16-year-old boy that he was mentoring within the Jehovah's Witnesses congregation. And on at least one occasion, the conduct escalated into inappropriate touching without the victim's consent. Now, Ayala Velasquez was charged with rape, involuntary sexual intercourse, indecent assault, aggravated indecent assault, endangering the welfare of children, and corruption of minors. Okay. He allegedly sexually assaulted his daughter multiple times, his own daughter. This is sick. These people need to be under the prison. Like I said, this is also sick. But I want you to pay attention because this type of stuff goes on and they like to sweep it under the rug when it's certain people involved in it. That's why we don't have a list of those wicked, perverted devils that went to Jeffrey Epstein's island. There's a list of 100 people that he left before he was taken out of here, but we don't know who those people are, and they're not doing anything about it. I just want you all to pay attention. Now, I have to say that I am thankful to the courageous survivors involved in these cases who were willing to share the horrific abuse they went through. I am inspired by their strength. This is what Henry said at a conference on Friday. Now, in October, the Pennsylvania's Attorney General charged 4 other members of Jehovah's Witnesses congregations with child sexual abuse. In those cases, the alleged abusers also found their victims through the church. The Jehovah's Witness faith is a non-mainstream Christian denomination. The church was founded in Pennsylvania in the late 19th century and claimed over 110,000 congregations worldwide as of 2022 on their website. I just want you all to pay attention because here's the thing. You see, this is why we need movies like the movie that came out July the 4th weekend called Sound of Freedom. This is why we need movies like this. And the movie is starring Jim Caviezel. If you don't know who Jim Caviezel is the man who played Jesus in The Passion of the Christ. So here he is in another movie that could clearly get him blacklisted because, say, after he did the movie Passion of the Christ, they clearly blackballed him from Hollywood, but he knew it was coming because Mel Gibson had already told him. But now here he comes again with this movie that is definitely needed. And I want you all to pay attention because if the things in this movie were truly conspiracy theories, which some certain media outlets like CNN are trying to report, they're trying to say it's QAnon conspiracy theories, like these things don't actually happen. But my question to CNN and any other person, that Crazy Beach Area said YouTube is messing with your feed. Well, I'm sure they are because they don't want anybody talking about this, specifically the Queen. But so anyway, here's the thing. Now, they want to sit up here and, try to criticize this movie and say that it's full of QAnon conspiracy theories and all this stuff. But my question is, how do they know it's not true? Are they investigators? Have they looked into it? It's very interesting that when these news outlets come out and they say that things are not true and they come out and say that, oh, this is just conspiracy. How do they know this? And if you know it and can prove it, then why don't you prove it? They never prove it. They act as though we're stupid enough to just believe what they say. Why wouldn't we think that it could possibly be true when we hear stories like the one I just told you about the Jehovah's Witness congregations? Why wouldn't they believe these things can be true when I reported to you 2 years ago on a video that ScrewTube took down when I told you about the Boy Scouts of America having to pay all of these millions of dollars for cases where they were charged with sexual abuse of children? What about all those videos I did about elite pedo freaks that I had to take down or that YouTube took down? Sounds to me like somebody's trying to cover up this stuff. And that's the reason they're going to say it's conspiracy theories. Pay attention. But CNN seems to be so bothered and so pressed. But let's talk about it because this movie is a box office hit. Okay? They've already made back the money that they spent in making it in the first weekend. Okay? I just want you all to pay attention. They've already made back the money, and it's done better than Indiana Jones. C-Stan says, Charles Taze Russell was a Freemason who created the Jehovah's Witness Church. Really? I'm not surprised, beloved. I am absolutely not surprised. Thank you for that bit of information and your contribution to the super chat. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Okay, so this is all crazy. So the movie Sounds of Freedom on the July the 4th. Yeah, that's it. That's the movie I'm talking about. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Now, here's the thing. Sound of Freedom grossed a total of $14.3 million in ticket sales in its debut, a whopping $3 million more than Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I love it. Now, co-owner of Angel Studios, Jordan Harmon, told the Daily Signal, he said, as exciting that it is to hit the #1 spot for this summer opening, it doesn't even come close to the excitement that the number means for what the number means for awareness of this issue. Okay, the Sound of Freedom movie Twitter account, the Sound of Freedom movie Twitter account posted a goal of reaching 2 million people for the 2 million children that are trafficked each year. Okay, just by looking at the numbers, Movie Guide would say that they will far surpass that goal. Now, due to Angel Studios' internal data, Harmon knew that his film would bring in significantly more than anybody projected. He said, but however, this quite frankly blew them away. The early projections had Sound of Freedom at $10 million for the week. To do a $14+ million on the opening day is wild. We're thrilled to death. There's a lot to do, and there's awareness to be brought to this incredible cause. I want you all to pay attention because, like I said, some of these media outlets absolutely are trying to bash this movie and say there's conspiracy theories. And some of them, at least one of them, actually called it anti-pedophile. That's what they said. They called it anti-pedo. I'm sorry, but who in the world is pro-pedo? Who in the world is pro-pedo besides the freaks themselves? Okay, this is all so crazy. I just want you all to pay attention. But anyway, it's just sick people that we have. Okay, just very sick people that we have in this country and in others. So Ramsey says Mel Gibson with Trump on Saturday, met with Trump on Saturday too. So you know Trump is going to do something about it when he gets back in the White House. Well, I don't know if Trump's going to do something about it, beloved, but somebody definitely needs to. Okay. All right. So thank you for your contribution and also for your insight into the topic, Ramses. Peace, love, and blessings to you. This is just all deplorable. All so deplorable. But hold on. Let's get into it because I want you all to hear what CNN had to say about it because they are clearly pressed. CNN, I have questions. Are you in fact siding with pedo freaks? CNN, are you okay with the trafficking of children? CNN, because they're trying to say this is conspiracy, but we absolutely do know that children are trafficked in this country every day. We absolutely do know that they're also trafficked in other countries every day. So CNN, why would you be trying to criticize this movie? Okay, even if you don't agree with every little thing in there, why are you trying to criticize a movie that brings light and attention to the trafficking of children? I have questions, Nefarious. Okay, so with that all being said, let me go to their brief on it, their brief report on it, because I found it very interesting. And then I'm going to show you some things that I find very interesting that lead me to believe. In fact, I know that absolutely there are some people in high places and positions with power, privilege, and wealth that absolutely engage in the trafficking of children. And let us not forget that the whistleblower Tara Lee Rodas absolutely said that the United States is playing middleman in the trafficking of children. And also, let me remind you that there's over 80,000 migrant children that have gone missing while Biden and his administration have done nothing. Anyone find that suspicious? But let's get into it.
Seem pretty familiar with him because he doesn't really hide his association with this real wild plot that involves, drinking the blood of children and things like that.
No, he doesn't hide it at all. And you have a lot of people who are in this world of QAnon who say, oh, they don't know what that is. They've never heard of it. They're just asking questions. With somebody like Jim Caviezel, he is openly embracing it. He's openly using its catchphrases and its concepts. He's speaking at QAnon conventions. And this film is being marketed to either specific QAnon believers or to people who believe all of the same tenets as QAnon, but claim they don't know what it is.
And The Sound of Freedom does focus on a real issue of sex trafficking. But that theme, it's sort of like that kernel of truth that feeds the QAnon conspiracy theory. Tell us how those two things work together.
Sure. And the most durable and the most believable conspiracy theories are not entirely false. There's something in them that is true and the rest of it is false. But the believers point to the one true thing and they say, oh, you don't believe that this particular thing is true. In terms of child trafficking, we know trafficking is real. We know it has real victims. No one is denying that. But these films are created out of moral panics. They're created out of bogus statistics. They're created out of fear. And with something like Sound of Freedom, it specifically is looking at QAnon concepts of these child trafficking rings that are run by the high-level elites, and only people like Tim Ballard and only people like Jim Caviezel, and by extension, only people like the ticket buyer can help bring these trafficking rings down. So there's a very participatory element. You're not just going to see a movie, you're just killing 2 hours on a hot day. You are helping bring down these pedophile rings and save children. Now, it's not true, but it's a very comforting and it's a very warm feeling to have.
I'm sorry, say what now? He said it's not true. How does he know it's not true? That's what I'd like to know. Did he go out there and investigate? See, this is what makes it all very suspicious. Okay, please pay attention. And the fact that they're trying to criticize this movie. Thank you, lady, for your kind contribution, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings to you. I find it all so interesting. But hold on. Because like I said, I'm going to show you some things that, quite frankly, lead me to believe that absolutely there's such things going on. They can call it conspiracy theories all they want. Why are they so mad about it? Hold on. I want y'all to hear something first. I want y'all to hear something. Now, here's the thing. There was a lady who said that her and her friends wanted to see this movie. And so they ordered their tickets online for the opening. But then their tickets got sent, or their money was refunded. And I want you all to hear why, because this is all such a load of BS. Okay, please pay attention. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. I'm gonna let you all hear this.
My friends and I just walked out. Hi. And we are curious what your experiences were in the movie theater, because we pre-ordered our tickets, paid for them, they were claimed, got the link sent, and this is an AMC theater in Pineville, North Carolina. Some point today, the tickets got refunded to my friend and we couldn't figure out why. So we come anyways to the theater after dinner and they're like, oh, well, we refunded all the tickets because there's no air conditioning in our theaters. Okay, whatever. We don't care. Are you still showing it? Yeah, you can still watch it. So we get to thinking, why did they not send out a notice in the email saying, hey, we refunded your tickets because there's no air conditioning. And we just are curious why didn't they let us know? There was no one in that theater. There was us 4 and 4 other people, 8 people in the theater on a Friday night. There was air conditioning in the lobby. There was air conditioning in the hallways. There was air conditioning in the bathrooms, not the theaters. They don't have the bartender or anything in the theater. I smell something stinky, and I think it's shit.
Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. So at the end of the day, the theaters, some of them are trying not to even play this movie. And I want you to pay attention because this happens a lot. If you recall the movie Birth of a Nation, the new version that came out, made by Nate Parker, remember how when people went to see the movie, myself included, they basically told us they were sold out, which was a lie. In one of the theaters, there was only like 10 people in there. And how also, if you purchase your tickets, which I did, they gave me a ticket for another movie that I didn't pay for. And I saw it because I always pay attention to stuff like that, because that's what you all need to pay attention to. Here's the thing. When you go buy a ticket to a movie that's controversial, or sometimes it doesn't even have to be controversial. It can just be a movie that's made by a black person, and then there's another movie that's made by a person that's not a black person, and they want that movie to do better at the box office. What they'll do is they'll sell you a ticket to the other person's movie rather than the movie that you requested. And you won't even notice. You'll have your ticket and you go and just show it to the usher and go on in, not even realizing that they gave you a ticket to another movie. Now, for some of you, that may not seem so important because you still get to watch the movie. But however, it is important because they're making you, with against your will, they're making you inadvertently support the other person's movie that you are not trying to support, and they're not allowing you to support the movie by the black person that you're absolutely trying to support. So this is what they do. So you have to pay attention to these things when you go to these theaters. Look at your tickets and make sure that the movie that you're requested to purchase is the movie that is in fact on your ticket stub. Because the devils know they try to hide things and stifle things and push their own wicked agendas. Okay, so the fact that they told these people that they sent their money back because there was no air conditioning in the theater, well, why didn't they tell them this in the email, as she said? Also, how is there air conditioning in the lobby and other areas of the theater, but not in the part where they're watching the movie? How is that? Well, it's likely bull crap, and they're just trying to do this so that people won't see the movie, so the movie will do poorly at the office, but that's not the case. It's already doing quite well, and it's going to do even better, because after this report, I know all of you are going to go to see it, because I know I am. Okay, pay attention. But hold on, because like I said, I have more receipts. So they say it's conspiracy theories. Well, it's this little boy who's giving this information about such things. Is he lying? Now, this is a video from years ago, and I've showed this to you before when I was exposing such things. Of course, I said those videos were taken down, but this little boy said all this stuff. His sister also said some things, and numerous other people. But I want you all to hear this from a child's mouth. Do y'all think that he's making this up? Is he a QAnon conspiracy theorist? Please pay attention.
Church, and we use it for eating baby, drinking baby's blood. We sacrifice the baby, we do to the babies, we throw them when we're dancing with the skulls after the babies are dead.
What skulls?
The baby skulls.
Before?
Yeah, from before. We put it on.
Where did the baby skulls come from?
They come from the baby.
How would you get them from the baby?
We cut the baby's head off. Then we clear all the meat from the skulls. And then we put all the meat and cook it. Sometimes we roast it. Sometimes we roast it in the oven. Sometimes we cook it on a frying pan.
You told me there's some restaurants.
Yeah, and there's some restaurants. McDonald's in Hampstead and East Finchley. And East Finchley East Finchley is a swimming pool. And in East Finchley there's a swimming pool. And the whole East Finchley does it. The boss does it. Everybody does it.
Everybody does it. And he said that they were doing this in a church. So please pay attention, because where were those people arrested? The Jehovah Witnesses congregations. Pay attention. Okay. And so with that all being said, I'm sorry, that little boy is not lying. They could miss me with it. And did you all see his eyes? He had the black and panda eyes is what they call it. And if you don't know why kids have those type of eyes, please do your research. Okay. Please do your research. At the end of the day, it's also disgusting. But hold on, because here's more information. This is a person who is now an adult who claims that they were trafficked as a child, and they go back to the exact house where it happened, and they show the underground tunnels where they were hidden. Do you all remember a few years ago when I reported to you about Oprah supposedly having her house raided with underground tunnels for trafficking? And she said that wasn't her house. It was the house next door. But I'm sorry, didn't they also say that she owned the house next door? Didn't they say that? I have questions. And how come she didn't come out, with a tearful plea, to clear herself? Because when Gayle King got all that backlash for what she said about Kobe Bryant in that interview with his friend, Oprah had tears in her eyes when she defended her friend. Why didn't she have any tears when she defended herself? I just have questions.
internet, and it took me literally forever to find it, but I fucking found it.
Nothing else that I encountered on America's Most Wanted has. And we encountered horrific crimes.
I'm sorry, conspiracy theories where? Okay, he literally showed the tunnel under that house that was owned by a prison guard at one point, and also the children's names were carved in the wood in that tunnel. So I'm sorry, where's the lie? And here's another thing I want you all to pay attention to, because there's been numerous of celebrity children or who are now adults who came out and said things about this this stuff that was going on. Orlando Brown, Todd Bridges, Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Raz B from B2K. Okay, remember what he said about Christopher Stokes, and then he came back and recanted, and then he came back and said some more stuff. Y'all remember that? And I believe it was another singer by the name of Quentin. But at the end of the day, let's not forget all of Jeffrey Epstein's victims who came forward and said such things. So there you have it. I'm sorry, where's the lie? Where is the lie? That's all I'm saying. Re-educated Soul says, mind-blowing, Queen, this is deep. Shaking my head. Yes, it is mind-blowing. Okay, it absolutely is. And it's sick and disgusting that people with certain platforms and on certain platforms, or who own certain platforms, and people who own certain media outlets are trying to cover this up, trying to say it's all just conspiracy theories, trying to demonize Jim Caviezel for being in a movie about it. Okay, because they say the movie's based on true events. And so, yeah, they want to discredit it. That's what they want to do. But hold on, I want you all to see this. Hold on. Let me share my screen real quick, because we're going to talk about CNN. We're going to talk about CNN some more. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? CNN discourages viewers from watching anti-pedo movie, Sound of Freedom. Why would CNN be discouraging people from watching it? Well, here's probably why. Pay attention, because I reported this to you all some time ago, probably over a year ago. Listen to this. So in a clip, CNN host Abby Phillip brought on an author named Mike Rothschild. Pay attention to the last name, Rothschilds. I'm sorry, say what? But anyway, Mike Rothschild, was brought on to talk about the new and popular anti-child sex trafficking film, Sound of Freedom. Rothschild charged the film is created out of a moral panic and QAnon concepts. The Sound of Freedom is based on the adventures of Tim Ballard, who started an organization known as Operation Underground Railroad. You all remember when I reported that to you, because they actually went out and found some of these children who were being trafficked. They said our mission is to save children from human trafficking. Well, God bless them. Now, Rothschild wrote a book titled The Storm is Upon Us, which details many QAnon conspiracy theories, such as the idea that the Democratic Party elites are part of a cabal of satanic worshipers that drink the blood of children. I'm sorry, but I have proof of this. I can't show it to you on here, but I've shown you the proof before, and I'll show it to you again on a different platform. We'll talk about that at a later date. But listen to this. Rothschild targeted the film and said it's being marketed to either specific QAnon believers or to people who believe all of the same tenets as QAnon, but claim they don't know what it is. So he then added that the theme is a kernel of truth that feeds the QAnon conspiracy theory. The CNN has had their own problems. I want you all to pay attention, because like I said, I reported this to you before. CNN has had their own problems with employees being involved in child sex crimes. One former producer at the network, John Griffin, y'all remember this, was sentenced to 9 years in prison. Okay, Griffin coerced a woman online to bring her 9-year-old, Griffin coerced a woman online to bring her 9-year-old daughter to Vermont to engage in illicit acts. How many of you remember when I reported that? How many of you remember when I reported that? The man from CNN who sat there and wanted this woman, I think he offered her like $3,000 to bring her daughter to Vermont so that he could have illicit acts. Freak. The CNN interview shifted to Rothschild focusing on the attitudes of people who will watch the film. He said people going to see the film are attracted to it in a way that's participatory. Okay, that's participatory, as if they feel that only people like Tim Ballard and only people like Jim Caviezel and only and by extension, only people like the ticket buyer can help bring these trafficking rings down. That's what he says. So anyway, I just want y'all to pay attention. Because here's the thing. If this is all lies and BS, then I need them to answer this question, CNN. Why is it that former CIA agents have also said the same exact things? Former CIA agents have said the exact same things about how these children are born and they're not given birth certificates so that no one can track them, how they're taken across country on planes to certain places for these very nefarious reasons. I'm sorry, where's the lie? Why is CNN trying so desperately to discourage people from talking about this movie and going to see it? They didn't have that much angst when their own person who worked there, their own employee, John Griffin, was doing what he did online, trying to coerce women to bring their children to Vermont for nefarious purposes. I'm sorry, make that make sense. It's all so sick and disgusting. But with that all being said, everyone should go and see this movie, because at the end of the day, the more they try to keep us from watching it, the more they try to talk against it, the more we should be paying attention. Because anytime the media, specifically CNN and others, anytime they're pushing the same narrative about certain things, we should all be paying attention, because that's usually when they're lying and giving fake news. Okay? That's what they're usually doing, lying and giving fake news. It's easy for this guy to sit up here at Rothschild to say that this is QAnon conspiracies and that it's not true, but he doesn't have any proof to verify these things. Where's his information? How long did he research or investigate it? Well, my guess is never. He's just running his mouth and trying to, cover up stuff and paint narratives, in my opinion. All right. I'm sorry. So everybody's lying. Everybody's just making this up. We're all just crazy conspiracy theorists. Okay, we're all just following QAnon. At the end of the day, is that really what's going on? Please miss me with it. And I want to tell you all something. Here's the thing. QAnon, as far as I'm concerned, was a government psyop. I've told you all this before. QAnon was a government psyop, because here's the thing. Some of the stuff being said by those people were absolutely true. Some of it was absolutely false. And it was put out there on purpose so that when you hear the truth, it sounds crazy. When you hear the truth, it sounds crazy. I just want you all to pay attention, because here's the thing. If something is true, but yet people think you're crazy for saying it, are they really going to believe you? Does it even matter that you exposed it? Well, of course not. So that's why they want us to think that this is all just crazy and just a load of BS and, quite frankly, conspiracy theories. Most of the things that our government deems as conspiracy theories are absolutely true. I mean, y'all just pay attention. Many of the things that they've lied about and called conspiracy theories have already been proven with facts and receipts. So are y'all going to continue to listen to them and go blindly into the abyss and not realize that what is really going on with these children that could come up missing? Where's all those children that came up missing in Cleveland in the first 2 weeks of May, from May the 2nd through the 16th? Where are all those children? How come this isn't making national headlines? How come there's not national headlines about this like there was when Gabby Petito came up missing? Okay, April says QAnon was controlled opposition. Yes, they came out saying all this stuff about Donald Trump's going to drain the swamp and all of that and take down all these people and people are going to go to jail. That was all a load of BS. You see, they mixed that in with the truth of the trafficking so that no one would believe the trafficking and no one would believe that elite people are involved in it. I'm just saying. So with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like and share, subscribe to the channels. If you have not done so already, be sure to click the notification bells. Okay, make sure, double check to make sure you're still subscribed, because they unsubscribe people on a regular. And also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur and on TikTok at Dr. A Shakur and on Twitter at DGoddess27. Okay, for those of you who follow me on the spiritual channel, I will be premiering a video for the non-members. And for those of you who are members, I will absolutely be doing a video live today. So stay tuned. Now, for those of you who are not members, I'm going to premiere a video about how the birthday song that many of you sing when it's your birthday and how blowing out candles and all of that, well, that's a ritual that you should not be engaging in. Okay, so I'm going to premiere that for those of you who missed it because you're not members. With that all being said, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, peace.
Hit him with that flavor. Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now.
That's
See
right.
a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy.
Real slick.
I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got